I got infinity money.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Beyond the Backboard Podcast, episode 27. My name is Omar. Next to me is Earl. Below me is Max. And we are going to get going a serious debate for today because there has been ramping up of this horrible allegation that Michael Jordan was not even a top 10 player in the league. But I do want to start off this episode on a more positive note. We finally got Earl back. We missed you. We missed you last year, Earl, and we just
last year.
Last year. Right? Last year. We missed you. We missed you though. We missed you.
It's been a long time.
And Earl also shaved his head, so congratulations.
Yeah.
Doesn't wear the hat anymore. I like it though. It suits you. But
you look like another bald NBA player, Michael Jordan.
I think even with my haircut, I'm taller than Omar. Oh my bad.
I mean, what are you, like 5'6" or something? Or...
Earl's 6 foot, no?
I'm 6'10".
No, you're not.
All right, we'll see next year when we all meet up.
I thought you genuinely said one time that you were actually around like 5'10".
Yeah, I'm 6'10".
No, Earl's 6'1". You said you're 6'1" before, or 6 foot, 6 foot 6'1".
No, I'm 5. I'm like 5'10" and a half, 11.
So you're 6 foot, because have you all ever heard?
Okay, I'll say depending what
no
shoes
5'11" people exist. Have y'all heard this?
Nobody's
5'11".
5'10" and a half.
So you're 5. So you're 6 foot.
I mean, you might as well round once you start getting to that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, have you ever met someone who's like, "Yeah, I'm 5'11"? Nobody.
No.
You never.
They're all gonna say 6 foot. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody is 5'11" on this planet. There's not a single 5'11" person.
I mean, I've heard people say they're 5'11".
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
Who?
How are you gonna tell me that?
No one is going.
How are you gonna tell me that? There's like 2 people I know that have said that.
What's their names?
Yeah, what's their addresses? Where do they live? What's their social security numbers? What's their phone numbers?
Why does it look like you have the answer to all those questions?
Omar is all knowing.
Hmm.
Omar is omni knowing. I can't tell if he. Okay, you was gonna say it. I couldn't tell.
I was trying to get you. I was like frozen in place trying to get you, but it's okay.
Frozen like Anna and Elsa.
Unrelated, but shout out to one of the best sports rivalries of all time, Duke versus UNC tonight, 6:30 p.m. Game of the year. Should be a good one. Just want to throw it out there.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
For sure. Yes, sir. Blue Devils, baby.
Yes, sir.
Omar, who do you think's gonna win?
The Blue Devils.
You just said that.
I know.
To get on my good side.
I know.
Well, you know who used to play for UNC?
That fraud. No, I'm just playing.
Yo, that's crazy. I can't even believe this movement, to be completely honest with you. Like, you know what? I want to understand it because there are clips going around that Michael Jordan, indeed, like sometimes he doesn't have a left hand, but it just feels like the same clip. It's yeah, right. It feels like the same clips over and over again. Like somebody put a compilation up on TikTok, and it was quite literally the same team, the same guy, like the same play, the same person guarding him. Like, bro, what if he just had a bad game that night? You put together this compilation of one game and just.
I can't lie, it's not one game, Omar. It's a collection of games. It's a collection of years. It's a collection of series. It's a collection of hours, days, years, months,
nights.
All right, I want to
long,
see
cold nights.
I want to see this clip that you have. Can you present? Like, can you actually present? I want to see if you can present.
Well, I mean, you didn't tell me we're doing this today, so
dude, listen, it's a free round. I have my clips pulled up right over here, man.
He plans the whole thing out, and he was like, "Yep, pull up your clips right now."
I mean,
no, you know what? That's unfair of me. That's unfair of me. I'll give you a second.
Okay.
I'll give you a second.
All I'm saying is, guys, have you ever just watched like a full, just like throwback game, like from start to finish?
Yeah.
Like legit, first quarter, fourth quarter.
One time, legitimately, yeah.
I low-key want to call Calf on that. But
why?
Why?
It was a while ago, admittedly.
What was the game?
It was like Knicks versus Pistons. It was
easy answer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
that was
what?
Hey,
no, I rewatched. Come on.
I'm surprised you didn't say Knicks Heat. I feel like that would be a rematch.
No. But
Series.
you know what? I genuinely would watch that.
Who was on the roster like of the game you were playing, like on both sides?
It was an older game. It was Patrick Ewing, John Starks, and no other names coming to mind for some reason.
Oh, I guess the player quality wasn't as great as you would think, huh?
Look, I've argued that before. I definitely think there is like a deficit of talent in each era, but like, I mean,
I'm just saying the whole
we can't
greatest defensive era of all time it's getting debunked every day. Every day I open up my phone.
Well, here's the thing. We were the defenders of the heavily defensive era. We thought it was heavily defensive era before we got into this debate.
No, I think honestly the more heavily defensive era was probably more so. I don't know. I feel like it was pretty.
Watch
rough,
what you
like,
say there, because the players were literally getting into fights and getting technical fouls. Like
what fights,
bro.
I'm just asking what fights. What are we talking about? 80s, 90s? Give me an example of a fight.
Yes, 80s, 90s. 80s, 90s.
Give me a fight, Omar. That a memorable fight. That's like, oh, that's 80s, 90s ball.
What was the one where it was Chris Childs threw the ball at Shaq?
Oh yeah, that
was a good one.
The one where who was it? Sean Kemp stepped over Scotty. Do I have that right?
You're talking about on the dunk where he points his fingers.
Yeah, the Kemp dunk where he like does the
Kobe.
I mean, but that was just a celebration. That wasn't like
steps on top of Tyronn Lue.
Barkley and Shaq fought. I just know Barkley fight or Shaq fights.
Yeah.
Friendly brotherly love. I mean, we had that fight, Isaiah Stewart in the hallway.
Oh my god, bro!
Well, we can't count that because
I think the more impressive thing about that was apparently.
Remember when who was it? Was it Franz Wagner? They punched somebody on the bench last year.
Oh my gosh, I remember that. That was wild.
That was crazy. Isaiah Stewart full court press running down the court about to jump on Ron. Yeah, we had like 3 fights this past week. We had one the other day. Was it I think it was the Bulls. Somebody touched the coach, and then Andre Drummond started going at people. It's been a lot of craziness.
Dog, Torrey Craig's been out for like the past 4 months, and he got
that's what
fight the first game he was back. I found that wild.
That's crazy. That's insane.
Did y'all know Torrey Craig was still in the league? Right,
I actually didn't. No.
I don't remember where he played from. Was he always on the Suns? Torrey Craig?
Well,
he's not.
I mean, not his whole career. He's on the Bulls now.
Oh, see, I don't.
He was on Phoenix at one point. I'm pretty sure.
Prove my point. But yeah, let's get back into this because
I want to say this. Omar, me and Omar were talking, and he tried to convince me that Michael Jordan wasn't top 2 all time.
He was top 2 all time. I said,
and then I said, bro, there's no way you don't have him in your top 2 all time.
You're getting the conversation 10. Mixed. You said top 10.
No, I was like top 10.
You said Michael Jordan is a top 10 player all time.
Yeah. Is he not?
He's a top 2 player all time.
I mean, top 2 is in the top 10, correct?
Almost like, wait.
Not?
You might be onto something.
Math is math, and math is cooking.
No, we need to talk about.
I'm going to sit here in silence until you fully explain your point because I have nothing to say right now.
Okay, look.
I have nothing to say. I am not being baited. That's all I have to say.
Some people in the community believe, I'm not saying it's me, that Mr. Jeffrey Jordan.
Mr. Jeffrey Jordan.
He's had some situations where we're pulling up the footage. Old heads say, pull up the footage. We got the footage. Now, we got a lot of free time. A lot of younger guys, in our free time. Like, you know what? Let's go pull up a Michael Jordan game. Let's go see what was happening. And it was a lot of just non-defense. Michael Jordan getting easy pull-ups, wide open shots. Michael Jordan getting wide open layups, no defensive pressure. Michael Jordan coming off the dribble. I'm not gonna be the one to say he doesn't use his left. I don't know how true it is. I don't do a whole bunch of research on left hand, right hand, whatever. But I will admit, like looking at footage, there's a lot of guys in the league back there who could not go left at all. And that's just a fact.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah. But Michael Jordan, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, he has no left hand at all. I just don't think that's true. But there have been instances where I've looked at clips, I watched videos. I got to do more research myself. But I will say a lot of people are watching back some of these 80s, 90s games, and they're not as impressive as advertised.
You know what I will say? Larry Bird is overrated. Larry Bird is 100% overrated.
See, now honestly, I can enter the ring. Omar, define overrated.
I don't think he was as great as a shooter as people make him out to be.
Okay, so define that in a more concrete argument. Is he top 10 of all time?
Top 10 of all time? All time, like, great basketball.
All time, anyone who's ever picked up a basketball in their left or right hand.
No. You know, that's actually an interesting question because originally I would have said top 8. But, you know, I mean, look, I'm looking at these clips too. There's no doubt that Earl is 100% right. I'm not doubting that. I'm just saying there's probably a lot more other examples of players actually playing defense than there are players not playing defense. Like, yeah, there might be some stretches where players didn't play defense. You know, that happens. Whatever. We see that.
They didn't play defense. They're not just out there like, oh, you know what? I don't actually feel like playing defense. I'm going to just let Larry Bird go by me. Like, could I play hand up? No. You're just acting like they just don't play defense. Defense.
You understand that happens in today's NBA too.
It happens more now than it did then. Like,
no.
That's what I'm saying. You didn't let me finish.
No, you're saying, well, they just didn't play defense. I'm like, no, they played better than they did now.
In some situations.
Time out, Max. I was exactly where you were. I agree with what you're saying, but after I watched I was like, okay, maybe there's one video. After I watched, I'm 10, 15 videos in, looking at some of this defense being played. Like you said, it's not like guys are just going to be like, oh, I'm not going to guard that. But, the energy on defense for some of these guys, we're talking about, playoff series, game on the line, best of the best. No defense. There's, probably,
no defense.
I'm saying, the defensive quality, guys aren't contesting shots. So just like you said, I'll even say some games were, all-star game level that we just see.
Oh my God, that is so not true. That is so not true. Show me a clip. Pull something up right now.
Max,
no defense.
Omar, link the clip.
Show me.
It's not me, dude. I'm not on your side here. You gotta link it.
On the chat that I said.
Oh, it's on the chat. Oh, you want me to link it? I got you.
Omar.
Yeah, because you got it your thing here.
Okay, I got you.
Bro, we're talking about no defense. There used to be a bajillion hulking 7-foot centers that would smack you in the mouth if you tried to come in the paint. You would end up on your back with a missing front tooth if you tried to go inside and dunk on them. Now you got these tiny little 6'10" diminutive centers that just, if you sneeze on them, they complain and try to say it was an offensive foul.
Bigs back then. That was not every single big back then doing that.
It was most bigs. Every team had one. It was probably top that you would not 15, try and score
20 bigs.
Earl, did you send the clip already?
Other than that, it wasn't just a culture. It was top guys doing the Shaqs, the Hakeems, those type of guys, the Barkleys of the world. Yeah, those guys.
Every team had a legitimate rim protecting 7-footer that would just
drop the hell out of you like y'all describe. Y'all make it be like, oh yeah, if you go in the paint, you're gonna be bleeding, your teeth are falling out. That's just not real. That's not what it was.
Some players, did you see what they did to Jordan in the Pistons?
Yes, they were like that.
Did you see the way the Pistons played Jordan? Did you see some of the altercations Bird had with McHale and Parrish and with the Lakers, where they had Michael Thompson out there playing better paint defense?
The game as a whole, Max. Yeah, I get what you're saying. There was moments like that, but that wasn't the whole era. Yeah, there was players like that. There were teams known for that, but the quality overall, as a whole, that wasn't the whole package. Every team didn't have that.
Most teams did. Most teams did. These days, you see so many uncontested layups and dunks. The amount of just ridiculous layups that guys get in the game today is way fewer than it used to be. There's a reason why the scoring was way lower back then. And that's a bigger conversation, I know.
Because guys weren't skilled enough to score.
People defended the rim back then. They didn't just let, Bron and KD just walk in and just lay the ball.
And it's a more skilled game.
Wait, question. Earl, did you send the link already?
I'm looking in the chat because I sent it yesterday when I sent you all those videos. But what's it called? Guys, the league is changed. The league is more offensively heavy because the skill gap is bigger. The average role player back in the day, the 80s or 90s, are not really close to the skill level of these guys now. That's just the era we're in. Guys, the worst player on the team can go check into I won't say the worst player. like your 8th best player in your team can check in and potentially have a crazy scoring night. I mean, do we want to bring up your boy from last night who had a really explosive game for your fantasy team?
What does this have to do with playing defense? I mean, I'll talk about Delano Banton for 20 minutes if I can, but like, what does that have to do with anything?
I'm saying the offensive quality is better than it was back then.
100%.
Yeah,
I'm not
guys
arguing
aren't
that.
going to be able to defend the same way. Like, it's
100%.
not the same type of defense you have to play. Like you said, a lot of it was guys going in the room. You couldn't score in the paint because you had bigs down there holding it down. But now, guys, you got mid-range shots, better mid-range. You got better three-point shooters. So it's easier to score because the quality of offense is just overall better, is what I'm saying. So the defense.
Okay, I agree with that. But that doesn't mean that there was no defense back then. It just means the offense has progressed more than the defense. But that's not to say that people just didn't know how to defend back then and that it wasn't hard to score. I'm saying
is the defense is not as advertised. Like, yeah, the defense was good, but it wasn't just like this golden era of defense. Like, there were still guys, quality guys, just not playing defense.
But the ratio of good defense to good offense was much more even. The defense to offensive balance was more even. It's just now defense is technically better now. It's more advanced than it was back then.
Sure.
It's like the offense is just leagues above what it was. It's like they both used to be kind of here.
For sure.
Now the defense has progressed like this and the offense is like this. So there's a greater imbalance. When people say golden age of defense, it meant it was able to hold up to the offense of that time. Yeah, obviously, defense has progressively gotten better as coaches develop new schemes and new tactics, but the offense is just tripled, and it can't keep up anymore. Partially because the rule changes as well.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, the quality, all I'm saying is, yes, there was good defenders, but the overall quality of defense in those 80s and 90s eras wasn't as elite as people make it out to be, is what I'm saying.
Okay, fair, but the offense was also drastically worse. So the defense by comparison was better. That's the only way you can compare the two is defense compared to offense.
Let's just say we're just pulling this up because it was right in front of me.
Because you have to watch a full game.
I'm not pulling up highlights. I'm not pulling up defensive highlights.
Jordan was left-handed.
That's what I pulled up. Yes, because it was right on my screen. I saw a couple plays. Just let's watch.
Look at that, contested dunk. I mean, yeah, and he dunked on, guess what? Dikembe Mutombo, one of the greatest rim protectors of all time.
That's defense.
You just cherry-picking plays. Pull up a blocks compilation. You'll see that you can't just cherry-pick plays.
That's an easy layup. Barely jump.
That's an easy layup. Totally an easy layup.
Barely contested.
That's not barely contested.
That's the same defense they're playing the All-Star game.
That's not barely contested. He's literally touching his body.
In that clip.
Look at that, hounding him past the three-point line, still hounding him.
All to the Michael Jordan haters that say he doesn't have a left hand. Let's just remember this is also a left-handed compilation.
Okay, bro,
he's making clutch shots on tough defense. Look at that.
Who else is doing that? That's just the greatness of Jordan, but that doesn't mean the defense was bad.
Look at that. Look at that. This is not even a defensive highlight. Look at that. What do you mean rim protector? What are you talking about? Robert Parrish is right. Wait, not Robert Parrish. I'm sorry.
There are three guys on him, and that's just, you know what? Good defense, better offense will always exist. Good offense will always trump good defense. But none of these
right past him. That's help defense, though. That's good defense.
Is that not Lambier? That's Lambier, I think.
Look. Right past him.
That's Lambier.
Right, and it's just a great play. It's just
a great
play by Jordan because Jordan
is great defense.
Dude.
That's great.
You have to. Okay. I'm not gonna make an excuse for that, but I feel like everybody knows what that probably is.
This look at that.
Now that's a good play.
Hanging on him. Just a really great shot by a great player.
That's a great play. I'm saying that's a great contested play. But that's the first shot I've seen actually 100% contested.
Bro, you're going off 2K stands, bro. This is not 2K contest.
I'm just saying, if we're talking about contest, we're talking about the ability to block the shot.
Wait a second. Hold on. That's literally maybe it's... Hang on. Oh, is it just inverted because of the screen?
Yeah.
I was gonna say
I was confused too.
Yeah, it looks a little weird because of the screen share, but yes.
Help defense is killer. That's all this is. The first defender on Jordan every time. It's no defense for real.
Because you can't guard Michael Jordan one-on-one because he's the GOAT.
Look, 2-on-1. And then on Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing.
That's a good finish, though. I'm just saying. So
that was arguing that Jordan wasn't
another one on Patrick Ewing.
I'm just saying.
One of the greatest defenders to ever play the game.
The on-ball defense.
You look up LeBron's baskets today. Look up modern LeBron highlights. His shots are easier than these. These are easy.
No, Omar, when you had a clip of on the Celtics, you had Paul Pierce grabbing.
He's all over him,
and he still finished the layup.
That was 15 years ago. That's better than it was now. Look at modern Laker highlights. Bron's just.
Here's what I'll say. You know what? I feel like I can end this debate after.
Contested.
Hold on, listen real quick. After listening to both sides real quick, I feel like the conclusion is I feel like Michael Jordan here was ahead of his era. If Michael Jordan was in today's game,
it would be Jaylen Brown.
No, he wouldn't be Jaylen Brown. He would be like Shea.
DeMar DeRozan.
He would be like Shea, actually.
Earl is here to troll. Earl is here to troll.
Earl is really here to troll. Y'all can continue this.
No, time out. Pause it. That's his game. Mid-range killer, has defense. That's DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan, he can shoot threes, but he's not a.
When did DeMar DeRozan make an all-defensive team? Show me a DeMar DeRozan all-defensive team right now.
Okay, then I'll say Jaylen Brown. I'm just saying if you're talking about guys in comparison. Okay,
I mean, in terms of the way they play, yes, but Jordan was probably the best,
like,
probably the best mid-range shooter of all time, one of the best slashers of all time. Could hit a three, not an elite shooter, but could hit the three if not better than LeBron.
Minus the defense, you're describing how DeMar DeRozan is as a player.
You're describing LeBron. It's the same as LeBron. Bron's not an elite three-point shooter. What does Bron do on offense?
This year. He's shooting 4% from three this year.
This year, what? He's played 20 years. He shot above league average from three, maybe a quarter of those years?
Let me see.
Pull it up. I believe for probably 13 of his 20 years, he's been below average three-point shooter. He's had a couple good years,
but
like
we're defining below average, though. What number are we defining below average?
Look up the league average.
Okay, you know what? I feel like,
and then compare it to Bron's. He'll probably be above it maybe 7 or 8 times, less than half of
on his career average. He's averaging 34.7 for his career average.
That's you could go year by year. Most years he's below the league average of that year.
I want to look at this. His
worst year was his rookie year.
And it's not to say he's a terrible three-point shooter because he's not. Like he has had 1 or 2 years where he shot 40. He's had some decent years. But
I want to look at this.
35, 35,
some good
34,
years,
33, 33, 36, 40, 37, 35. His worst.
That's fine. He's mid. He's a mid shooter. He's a mid 3-point shooter, and that's okay. I'm not trying to take that away.
This is when Michael Jordan dropped 50 points in the season opener at MSG. This is a 7-minute video. We'll watch like half of it.
That's great. But my point is, you could just argue the same thing about Bron, but you're not taking that away from Bron. That he's not an elite shooter. Neither of them were elite shooters. Jordan was anything a better shooter because he was at least elite in mid-range. Bron has never been elite in mid-range.
No defense, though.
Bro,
look at the way there's
literally opening block.
There's 5 guys in the paint. There's 5 guys in the paint.
Jordan on average shot 32% from three for his whole career.
Okay, again, neither of them are elite shooters. I never said either of them were.
17%. 16%, 18%, 13%, 27%. Like that's not broad. What are we on?
You also got you have to compare it to the league average at the time. No one was shooting threes at that time. It was not as important. Then you want to look at the mid-range percentages.
The fact that people say there's no defense is crazy.
That's okay, exactly.
This is literally a season opener.
I don't even know how to look at. All I can do is look at 2-point percentage. Like I can't just look up straight.
I know they probably didn't have it. It would take too long. But the point is, no one's going to sit here and say like Bron was a better 3-point shooter, not elite. Jordan was a better mid-range shooter, and he was elite.
I mean, if we're looking at just 2-point percentage,
taken away by Bron's percentage just 2-point percentage because that includes driving. I don't need percentage to look at what Jordan did and tell you he's a better mid-range shooter than Bron. That's just a fact. You can't argue that. I'm sure there's a bunch of stats that would take 10 years to pull up if we wanted to. He's also way better.
I think people should pull it up then. If we're holding all these different standards, we might as well just pull it all up.
To Jordan on the baseline.
No defense though.
What are we saying, bro? What?
No defense though. No defense.
What is the name of this highlight clip?
50 points for Michael Jordan. This is literally a season opener.
So all from one game.
Yeah. We're looking at one game. We want to look at a game. Defense.
One game.
I'm looking at defense.
What year should I take this from? What year should I take this from?
This is from 1986.
I'll take it from 1996. Let's see 1996.
1996.
In the mid-range area, let's see. That year, Jordan shot 51% in shots 10 to 14 feet. He shot 50% from 15 to 19. So basically between 10 and 19 feet, the mid-range, he was 50%. We'll call it 50%.
Okay.
Now let's see what LeBron's is for what year do you want to take for Bron?
I mean, I don't know. It's
share your screen.
Whichever year.
Can you share your screen?
Maybe. Hold on.
Click present.
I want regular season. We'll say that, let's say 2015, 16. I don't know. Wow, 10 to 14 feet. Bron. This is 2015, 2016 prime Bron. 10 to 14 feet, 33%. 15 to 19 feet, 42%. 20 to 24 feet, 29%. Like,
what does that mean? I'm just saying.
He shoots the worst percentage.
Bro, it's like, I'm looking at the stats.
I'm saying I didn't say that Michael Jordan wasn't a better mid-range shooter than Bron.
Then what are you saying?
I said the quality of defense was different. I'm saying I'm saying the defensive error that people say is not what it seems. Like, this is one clip we're watching from one game. One game.
No, that's cap. We watched two different. That was one clip, and we watched 2 minutes from one clip.
The defense back then
barely. There was some.
Bro, they were.
Some weren't.
Homie, they were through the first quarter, and Michael Jordan had 8 points, and he was supposed to get 55 that game.
Guys get 15 points on the quarter. Like, what are we saying?
But I'm just saying, you can't say there's absolutely no defense. We just went through a season opener in 1986.
But what you're saying is, I'm saying guys aren't playing no defense. I didn't say that. I said the defensive quality is not as it was described. That's not the same thing.
I feel like you're cherry picking there.
I mean, like I said,
I was like cherry picking.
It was way closer to the offense. The defensive quality, quote unquote, was higher because it was closer to the offensive output. They was more evenly matched. Again, is defense in a nutshell more advanced, more tactical, quote unquote, better than it was in the 80s? Yes, objectively. But in comparison to the offense, it is way farther behind the modern offense than the 80s defense was to the 80s offense. That's the point that people make, was that defense back then was able to hold offenses way better. Now the offense has completely blown the defense out the water. So that when you talk about a prime defensive error, that's what you're talking about, because teams weren't able to put up 110, 120, 130 regularly like they are now. That's why it was prime defensive error. Again, not because it was in a nutshell better, but because it was relatively closer to the offense.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's all these technicalities. I get what you're saying, but my point is, yes, the error of quality as far as points per game, it was lower. I agree with that. Obviously, the offense wasn't as skilled as it was today. But what I'm saying is, if you go back and actually watch games, game to game, there was a lot of possessions where guys weren't capable of guarding. Games. Omar, 2 games out of a whole era of basketball is 2 games. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah. But that's the assumption everybody on TikTok is making, Earl. Like, that's my main argument, because the TikToks I'm seeing, the footage I'm seeing is quite literally people
but Omar,
the same clips over and over again.
I'm saying, is it not the same thing what you're doing, looking at one clip and saying all the defense is here, and then them looking at 1 or 2 clips and saying there's no defense?
But in that case, the difference is they take
okay. How about this?
Post the same exact clip. I'm not saying like they're not taking different examples. They literally take the same clips and put it in, like, they take little examples from here and there.
Earl, I mean, how about this?
If you're taking a whole, wait, because
let me stop.
Okay,
no, it's okay. I'm interrupting Omar. Omar, you finish your point. Then I'll cook Earl.
I was just saying, because you just said something about.
I'm not.
Wait, just hold on. I'm just
talking.
Please, hold on. So what I'm saying is, you just said something about being in a whole era of basketball and me picking out 2 games. Isn't that what everybody else is doing? Because everybody else is quite literally.
I just said.
But I'm saying everybody else is doing it for the same side. So what are we even arguing here? I just feel like everybody else is cherry picking.
Well, what I'm saying is, against Michael Jordan. Watch full games is what I'm saying. Something I'm doing now. I'm catching myself. I'm gonna go back and watch full games so I can see for myself, because I feel like when we look at clips, even myself, if we just look at clips, look at numbers at times, it's hard to actually tell without getting a game sense and watching it for yourself.
I understand that, and
I agree.
we could go for it.
I agree, but the numbers also, for the most part, I think do tell a story. Guess how many players right now in the NBA season are averaging 2 or more blocks per game, Earl? How many players do you think are averaging 2 or more blocks right now?
Probably like 3 or 4.
There's right now 8 players that are averaging 2 or more blocks, have a flat average. In the 1990-1991 regular season, how many players do you think were averaging 2 or more blocks a game?
Probably like 20 to 30.
There were 14. How many of those guys were averaging 3 or more a game?
Probably like what? 6?
4 of them. How many this season?
2.
1, just Wemby. Like, so in terms of blocks per game.
Yeah, because how many? Okay, we talk about 3 points and stuff like that. That just show. It's just offense is better now. I agree with that.
Yes, it is.
It's
but that
more
doesn't mean you
skilled.
discredit the defense that people used to play.
Yeah,
I get that, but I'm saying. Okay, never mind. Go ahead, Mo.
No. I wasn't even gonna. I was just gonna be like, I just feel like a lot of people use it to discredit others, which is like evil work to begin with. I'm not saying you, Earl, right? Like,
No.
Let me make that clear. I'm not saying you are using it in a specific sense, but these people that are bringing up this argument and trying to put it up against Michael Jordan, who is revered as the greatest of all time, regardless. It's just like, you are doing evil work. You are plotting on somebody's downfall. You are not doing something good for yourself or for your brand.
Based, Omar. Based.
Not to
Based.
That's a compliment.
Oh, thank you.
Anyways, not to discredit those people, but I'm saying I think guys are saying just the standard that this era is being held to. I think people are saying, like, back in the day, as far as the standard of basketball, people hold it on a different tier, like a different what's the word?
Pedestal?
Yeah, like basically they make more excuses for why things happen here and they don't happen there.
100%.
And they hold this era of basketball saying, oh, it's just so bad, no defense and stuff like that. But that's just the growth of the game. Like, what you get is the development of the game. Like, obviously things back then are not going to be exactly how we talk about it now. Just like we talk about the Wilt and stuff eras. Mm-hmm. Obviously we can't ignore that everybody didn't have like the same type of quality and physique that Wilt had, because he was a huge dude. Like back in the day, like that separated him from being great. He had a built body. He was super athletic, and nobody can stop him. I think. Yeah.
So it's the same way that Shaq had a huge body and no one can stop him, and the same way Bron has an amazing body, no one can stop him. We don't discredit Bron for being so.
But people do. I think that's
the point that people make about him, is that, oh, he's done such a great job taking care of his body. It's a point to raise him up. But then when you use that same argument for Shaq or Wilt, it detracts from their legacy because they just got lucky in body type. Like, that's what I'm saying. You can't.
Okay, I don't think that's true.
No, that is true.
Really?
I'm saying.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Max is literally bringing the whole argument full circle. The problem is, I'll use the example. The comparison is a thief of joy. I think people try to compare different players, different eras, different situations. And like Max said, you have these moments where guys are doing great things, but we discredit it just because guys are going about their legacy a different way based on what they're given in the game and the era that they play. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. I think same thing happened with Bron guys and MJ guys. They all try to fight and discredit each other. But Jordan, he dominated his era. That's just a fact. 6-0. You can't take that away. He pretty much held people from getting championships because he was so great. I agree with that. I think it's just, I just say this, like, I think really the problem is just guys and eras having these conversations and getting mad at each other because of what the game is given within each generation and how it's harder or not harder, I'll say.
Right.
It's been equally hard. It's always hard. It's never easy. That's the thing, is people try to make the plumber argument about, like, oh, there was no defense then. Defense was easy. That's not true. No one was good back then. There were just a bunch of plumbers. That's also not true. That's why you can only compare guys to their own generation. You look at what they did against the competition they played against, and that's how you evaluate them. You can't just retroactively go back and discredit Jordan because defense was easier back then. If it was so easy, why didn't everyone win 6 championships and average 30 points a game and have all these great 50, 60-point games. How come everyone couldn't do that?
It's almost like
something better than everyone else at the time.
It's almost like disrespecting the creator of basketball because he started with a literal volleyball and a basket.
Yeah, started with a peach basket. But that's just obviously the game evolves, and I think that's what you're saying. Or yes, the game
exactly. I was going to bring that up. I was going to bring that up as well.
We have judged players based on how good they were at the game they were playing. The game that was played in the 80s was way different than it is today. But that doesn't mean that Jordan is any worse than Bron because he excelled in that era. Bron is still excelling in this era. We can only look at what they were able to do against that competition. You can't just retroactively be like, well, Jordan didn't play anyone good. That's just not the truth.
And that's really just like the old head / new head rivalries of the world, the Skips and the what they call Stephen A's and all these media outlets of the world. How basically anytime anybody does anything, I agree. I think it's a nasty habit of people trying to take away things that have already happened. Like there's a word like you can say, yes, Bron and MJ are two great players. They both dominated their eras. Just because Bron plays a little bit longer, got 40K points, doesn't discredit what Jordan did in all his prime and how he was in his resume. I think people just try to play the comparison game.
They try to use it for hate, bro. They try to use it for hate.
Like I said, Skip talking about, Bron got 40K. It really doesn't mean anything. I'm like, bro, what?
It does. It 100% does. Even as someone who's probably not on as high on Bron as most people, of course it means something. Like, how could it not?
And then I'll talk about
first person in NBA history to do so.
And they talked about the example I bring up too, because I seen it on Twitter. Like it was crazy. A fan on Twitter, he was like, it was I think it was I'm trying to think of what player it was who did it. Maybe it was Jordan. It was either Jordan or Kobe. I forgot. It was something about somebody hitting 30K points. I forget. Maybe it was
Jordan.
Kobe.
It was Jordan.
Yeah. Talked about how he
stopped the game. They stopped the game.
They stopped the game. They gave him a trophy for 30K and stuff like that.
Yep.
And then when the Bron thing came around,
didn't even
obviously I agree we lost. That was a bad look. We lost. But they were like, man, it's so dumb that they're stopping the game. 30K is really, it's not that impressive to stop a game or something like that, he said. I'm just thinking like, bro, it's not that. Just watch basketball and respect greatness. Like you had the privilege of watching Jordan hit 30K and you got to see it again with Michael Jordan hitting 30K. Like not everybody in their lifetime can say they've got to witness something like that. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, bro, at what point do we just sit back and just respect the game for what it is? In my opinion,
I think we've finally reached a generation in which I feel like we're unlocking this era. I don't think it's right now. I think it'll be 5 years down the line or something like that. I think we'll see a lot more respect for the greats. I mean, look, because there's been a long time.
I really just going the other way because the problem is like now everyone just has the TikTok. Literally, the reason why this isn't we having this conversation. We've been talking for 40 minutes because some idiot on TikTok was like, Jordan had no left hand, and this kid with way too much time just cherry picks Jordan plays where he doesn't have a left, and then people are like, oh my gosh, so true. Michael Jordan's a fraud. He has no defense. People just do not like anything that happened before the year 2000. Basically, just is irrelevant and is just thrown in the trash now across any sport. Nobody respects players in the 50s and the 60s and 70s like they used to. There used to be respect for the people who came before you. Now it's literally just all about who had a good game last night. You get on social media right now, you have people clowning Ben Simmons, which I do a good bit of Ben Simmons clowning myself, to be fair. But it's like, dude was great 2 or 3 years ago, but you never know that by going on social media. Russell Westbrook was an MVP 4 or 5 years ago. You never know that now. If anything, it's just going to get worse, and people are just going to keep coming up with these uses for why anything that happened before they were born doesn't exist, was stupid, was easy, and was irrelevant. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And there probably will be a time where guys like Oscar Robertson, barely nobody even knows who Oscar Robertson is right now, except like the diehard NBA heads. He will 100% be forgotten. Like the absolute greats of there'll be a time where Bird and Magic just get completely discredited because they played in the 80s. That was 60 years ago. That happened before I was born. So therefore, nothing is relevant. Like it's just going to keep getting worse, I feel like.
I feel like
I don't know.
And this is a good point too. Like some videos I watch too, they're saying like for your own research, just go back and watch it for yourself. Like Max said, like before this era of basketball, like guys don't go back and just historically watch games. So go do your own research. I'm not saying I agree. I think obviously guys try to discredit things from a couple clips and stuff like that. Yeah, that does happen. But just for your own sanity, just go back and watch games. If you have time, go back one weekend and watch the NBA Finals from a different era that you didn't grow up in watching basketball. Just do your own research and just respect the game. Watch it for yourself and come up with your own conclusion. I'll just add that.
If you're that interested into it, of course.
But you don't even have to be. Like, you can just go do 5 minutes, like Basketball Reference. Just go on Basketball Reference for 5 minutes. You'll be like, damn, Oscar Robertson averaged a triple-double, which nobody else did for 50 years. That's pretty cool. Or you'd be like, damn, Kareem had 39,000 points without hitting basically a single three in his whole career. And that record stood until LeBron came and broke it and will probably never – I don't even know if his 39,000 will be eclipsing it. He might end as the number 2 all-time NBA scorer. That's pretty cool. Like, you don't even have to go watch the games. Like, there are databases now that just do the work for you. Just access these databases, and you can be like, damn, like, I think Jaylen Brown's pretty good, but,
he's not reaching 30,000 points. Like,
dwarfs his career accomplishment.
No, for sure. I agree with you. I'm just saying, like, sometimes, like, I love numbers. I do. But like sometimes
I admit they can lie, but like
I get you. But I'm just saying, like, sometimes just watching it grows your basketball knowledge in general too. Yeah. Like it just gives you a better respect.
You have time, absolutely.
And I agree. Numbers, you don't have the
time. It's not that hard.
No, for sure. Yeah. Like you said, like there's information resources out there for you to do your own education and research that just doesn't take a lot of time. But like if you do have the extra time, just go watch basketball. Like if you're a fan of the game, you love the game. You love this era of basketball, just go back and watch, like educate yourself. Like even if it's like a documentary, like there's so many good basketball documentaries talking about like old teams, players, eras. Like it just gives you a different perspective, I would say. It makes you respect the game overall.
Yeah.
Like in a new light.
So I want to ask you this, Earl, because I guess maybe your point got lost in translation, I guess. What is your overall take of this? Do you think Michael Jordan is a fraud?
Why would I say Michael Jordan is a fraud?
Because I'm
trying to bait you. I'm trying to get some clickbait.
All right, bet y'all want the clickbait? Michael Jordan is a great basketball player. There you go.
There you go.
I would disagree with that. I think he was a great basketball player.
Yeah,
I think he can still drop off Omar right now.
Yeah, he probably could. You could drop.
He probably could. Yeah.
Except 6'10", Earl, he'd body him.
I think I'd cook Max though. Honestly,
you would not
a
cook
chance.
Omar.
I think
I'm posting Omar, you. I'm giving you a drop step hook. I'm giving you a drop hook.
Omar, you wouldn't even. Honestly, you wouldn't even dribble on me.
Okay,
I'll get you one dribble, and that's it.
Y'all have not seen me play.
You would get swallowed up by Earl, like in an instant.
I literally,
I've seen Max play, and I just feel like my confidence it just trumps his in the sense where I feel like I can bully him in the paint.
Omar, I'll do all.
I beat a guy. I beat someone 3 inches taller than me. I'm not losing to someone 7 inches shorter than me.
Bro, congratulations, but quality of basketball over height. Homie.
Fair, that is fair.
I'm still winning. With all due respect. Okay, we'll see when you guys pull to Jersey / New York.
Pass me, I'll let him beat me. Oh, you got me off the dribble. Blocked by James.
Yo,
I'm reaching down here to block. Like I don't even have to put my hand up. I'm reaching like.
So I want to ask y'all. So we're talking about this trip to New York and stuff. We're always talking about it. For me, 15 minutes away, I take a train. I'm in the city. I'm at Madison Square Garden. For y'all, it's a plane ride, and you gotta come up and all that. So I want to ask y'all. I mean, obviously, I think we have to promise the fans something here. I feel like we gotta do it in person. We gotta rent out. We gotta rent out a little studio. We gotta find something.
2025, 100%. In-person meetup, whatever it is, I'll go out there. We vibe.
We're not waiting until 25.
We have to wait. We have to wait till the Lakers play the Knicks. I mean, we could do it earlier in the season, but we're not rich guys. By the way, guys, if you want to support us, follow us, give us some money, give us
a lot to go there, especially flights.
Yeah,
hotels.
It costs a lot. Yeah, please help.
Thank you to Ryanair for sponsoring this podcast. We appreciate their flight service. We'll be using Ryanair. Yeah. Ryanair's based. I know it's an international service, but
Ryanair. If I'm going to the game, I'm not trying to get scrub tickets either.
Yeah, no, we're buying
Like,
good. We're getting good tickets.
I don't want to have the binoculars out.
Yeah, no. If we're going to the game, we're going to Madison Square Garden. We got to make it a big deal. And you already know those Lakers versus Knicks tickets are crazy.
I'll just call Spike Lee. He got me. That's my brother.
I'll tell you this:
That's
the games for Madison Square Garden for anything participating with LeBron James is going to be really expensive.
We gotta wait till Bron retires to afford those tickets. Bron gotta be retired or out like he was yesterday.
Oh, wait. Okay, before we end, I gotta talk about D'Lo.
You got like 15 minutes.
I know. I'm just saying, like, I gotta talk about D'Lo real quick.
Oh yeah.
All right, you're talking about D'Lo. I'm talking about Delano Banton.
Okay,
Delano Banton. I'm not even.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
All right. Delano Banton is one of the best players in the NBA, and just nobody knows about it because he's stuck on Portland. Dude dropped 38 and 5 yesterday on the Rockets, career high, absolutely cooking with no one in Portland backcourt because he's buried down that rotation. Dude came out and just hooped. He carries my fantasy team. He's going to hopefully carry me past Earl this week for third place in our league. I just think Delano Banton's the GOAT. Like, objectively, no one is better than him. Like, if he was on a good team, he'd be in the MVP conversation easily.
Okay.
Speaking of our fantasy league, I think I got a deal in place for Anthony Edwards.
Anyway.
I mean, Chad did talk to me about that top 5 pick, but I'm talking.
How are the picks working? I still don't know how they work. Is there a lottery?
It's not technically a lottery. I believe it's like -5, right? It's like the last 5 or the last 10. It's like in order of that way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is it? Tell me, Earl. You're the commissioner.
I know. Mm-hmm.
I feel the sarcasm. I'm not confident in that answer.
If I'm being 100% honest,
you don't even know.
This is not commission offers hours. I don't have a look. Let me get my commission answer. The information you're looking for, we will actually have a meeting about it. I like to address the whole community, our whole team as a whole. That way, nobody is missing out on any type of.
I'm looking this up right now.
So we will be having that meeting.
We're not having a meeting.
No, I promise you, we are. Our end of season meeting will be either this weekend or somewhere throughout the end of the week. But
we should do it later tonight, actually.
No, we can't. It's because I'm putting it all together. It's going to be an end of season meeting, exit interviews, prizes, awards, all in one stream, so we can get it done.
Oh yeah,
because there is actually a lot of stuff to talk about. We are going to East and West next year too, by the way. And
we're doing East versus West next year.
Oh, so we're not talking about that then? You just had a lot to talk about. You just made that decision. You just decided for us.
No, yeah, some things I just decided. Yeah.
I mean, look, that's pretty cool. Actually,
I actually have the conferences already built out too, based on like how this season ended. You know, different rivalries that brewed and stuff like that. So, yeah, I've been working, guys. Y'all think I'm just a lame commissioner? I'm already making changes. I'm
voting you for GM of the year. Don't get.
I'm Adam Silver. You see me, Adam Silver. That's how I had to cut my hair. Had to get in character. But yeah, just a sneak peek. We're gonna have East West. Playoff is getting expanded. We're gonna have an in-season tournament. I figured out a way to.
Are we expanding the season as well? I feel like we should expand.
Expanding season. More. We are expanding the season by 3 weeks. So yes,
okay,
it'll be a longer season next year.
I like that.
Yep.
Dude, good Lord, Chad's team is overpowered.
That's why I'm trying to get somebody.
We do have special veto voting system in place. Have implemented that as well, just to give you guys a sneak peek. There are a lot of changes. And as far as like the people who leave the league, depending on who leaves, I do have stuff.
I think there's going to be about like 3 teams that might be available.
I think there probably will only be 1, if I'm being 100% honest.
Well, Brennan is 100% fact.
Yeah, I think it's probably the only person, honestly, who won't be here next year is probably going to be Brennan, unless I hear from him.
And then Shannon, and then
I mean, IDG has IDG been active?
Nah, Sham's going to be here.
IDG? I don't know.
Well, actually, that's one thing. IDG was very active until the last, like,
he
ran into
last 3 weeks of the season. So I have to message him and ask him. But the only confirmed once, there's only one confirmed, like, hey, we probably will have 1 spot, and that's probably Brennan. Because I messaged him like multiple times throughout the year. I just haven't got a single message back. So when stuff like that happens,
Trav could have won if Cat and Curry weren't hurt. Like legit, like Chad put up 547, which fair to Chad, but like
he put up
Chad
547
legit
this
could have
week.
contended that.
547.
Chad's on, he's ending on 547, I think, because he's locked everyone.
I'm so sorry, guys. It was my fault. Chad wasn't even supposed to be in the championship. It was on me. I'm sorry, boys.
I mean, if we hadn't let him acquire Anthony Edwards and DeRozan,
I can't even believe that, because he traded Anthony Edwards for DeMar DeRozan, and then he traded DeMar DeRozan for scraps.
Yep.
Back to Chad, no less.
Yeah, now we have the Chad clause. I actually called it that.
It's called the Chad clause.
Called the Chad clause.
It really should be called the Chad clause.
It is.
Can we force Chad to give up 2 of his players?
I actually that's why I said I told him, because here's the thing. I was hoping he would message me about my top 5 pick, because I can tell him like, listen,
shopping that
because
top
listen,
5 pick like a Birkin bag.
Birkin is crazy. I mean, look, it's necessary. Hey, man.
Earl, are you locking that Reeves game or not? Because you said you were gonna lock it.
Yeah.
You just haven't gone through and like
I really haven't
available.
been on the app. Since I seen what D'Lo put up, I closed the app last night.
Yeah, I saw that.
But I've been more mad if I like that 30. That would have been hurtful.
Yeah, it's over for him.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to see if I could, because I think there's still a chance I beat you. I think.
Damn, Grayson Allen put up 59.
Honestly, you have a good chance. The way Tam's been playing like a G League superstar, you really have a good chance to beat him this week.
Yeah. Well, I assume, I don't know. Are you gonna lock Luka? Are you locking his 77? Or
what time did the Pistons play?
What?
What time do they play?
7.
I decided like 6:30.
Okay, so you have to decide on that.
Yeah, my place is already decided. By the way, I ended.
I'm probably locking AD tomorrow because I don't know if he's playing. I'll see in the morning.
IDG looks like he's active now. Actually,
yeah,
I can check if they're active.
He is. He's in like the finals for the.
Does he have anything locked?
Yeah. Oh no, not in the finals. No.
I'm saying like, does he have anything like locked right now?
Let me look.
Because I can just check. Like the easiest way for me to check is to see if you ever.
No, he doesn't have anything locked right now. But he's been locking. No, he's been locking for the past 2 weeks though. Well, actually, oh yeah,
he hasn't been locking it. Auto locks on the last game. Automatic.
No, it locked on Terry Rozier. Locked on Brandon Ingram's second game. Some of them were last games, admittedly, but some of them were middle games.
I'll have
and
to check
the
it out.
second games. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Vince Williams, he locked the second game. Bradley Beal was the last game. Nikola Vucevic was the second game. Jaime Jaquez last game. Domantas Sabonis last game. But admittedly, he scored the most amount of points in the last game. Dude, he's active. He's active.
Yeah, you just said a whole lot.
Dude, trust me.
Yeah, that's what I said. Brennan
is the one that's definitely gone, bro. We gotta talk about Shams though, because Shams is
nothing really to talk about.
I mean, he's a question mark. Him with an
not on the pod, Omar. Not on the.
He's
pod.
not leaving, man. He's here for the long term.
No, I don't think so.
He's our marketing genius.
He literally said,
"Without Shams,
I don't know if I'm here."
Chat's not active. I'll just say that.
We should have Shams market our podcast.
Good or bad.
He's not going to be on our podcast.
Without Shams, that chat would never be active.
He is.
And that's a fact.
Chat,
dude, Chris Murray had 40 last night. Better Murray.
And I'm not going to lie. If y'all just don't want him to... Max said it best. If y'all don't want him to... just don't message.
Yeah, right?
I see all the...
Bro, it's so crazy because like he would get mad about something and he would say like, yo, stop fucking saying that. And we just be like, bro, just block him. Like,
I'm just saying...
we blocked you a couple times. Why don't you block them? Like,
I'm just saying, y'all do it to yourself. That's why I really don't even.
I mean, I don't even care about it anymore. I've been on his good side.
All
lately.
I'm saying is, Shams, he'll be there.
I don't know.
I do believe he will be there. I don't think he's leaving.
Unless Shams leaves, he leaves. I mean,
he did say he might
he
may or may not be there.
What Shams does really doesn't affect me. Like, obviously now moving forward, I'll be more like aggressive as far as like blocking trades that just don't make any type of sense. But other than that, I mean, it is what it is. I feel like with most of those conversations, it's really a two-way street. Just like the whole Austin thing, I literally told y'all to drop that such a long time ago. Like,
I don't care about that. Don't look at me about that.
Like when I say it doesn't matter, like what his name is, it literally doesn't matter. It doesn't. It really doesn't.
I'm pretty sure he said his real name too. It was like Justin or something.
Yeah, it's Justin.
Yeah, like we literally got over it for 2 weeks, but then Travis was like, "No, I don't believe you."
Yeah,
I don't believe him either, but I don't care enough.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
bro, the coincidences were too tough. I'm not getting into the intricacies, but the coincidences.
That's why I respect Max for that. Like he doesn't care, not that necessarily he believes, but he just doesn't care enough to sit there. It is 17,000 paragraphs, and my phone's going up with 2,000 messages.
Admittedly, I haven't done that in a little while.
No, you've been better.
I've been better. You're the ringleader of that, bro. I would
because swing up every day with some random freaking bullshit.
You pass the torch to Dan, but what you do is you're the ringleader of you and Dan.
You know what? I was never messaging him saying random shit though.
That's what I'm saying. Like Dan is taking the ringleader of that.
Yeah, Dan has been going crazy. Like that message he sent to him around the second time that Sham sent, I was like, "Yo, I am not touching this."
But now you and Dan just go on whenever there's anything.
Dude, I'm saying, dude, my shit is innocent jokes. My shit is innocent jokes. I'd be like,
it is, but you act like they're not.
Yeah,
dude. I just say, yo, listen.
You really
can I say? Let me just say. All I'd be saying sometimes is, yeah, Pookie. Like, I just be joking with him. I just be saying, like, weird jokes to him.
But if y'all reverse it, then y'all get mad. But then if you
I won't get mad. I'll just say it back.
Bro, y'all literally do. That's the thing.
When have I gotten mad about that specifically?
Literally,
somebody
like,
calling me like
y'all got into a blow-up conversation because the Hawks beat the Knicks, and then Dan was trolling, being like, "Oh, fly Hawks, fly!" And then you were like, "Oh my gosh, we didn't have our best 4 players." I'm like,
whoa! Y'all are so seriously misunderstanding my tone.
Like, tone is, I've got to defend my team. Dan is coming at our necks. I'm going to be the Knicks defender. Get me my pitchfork.
All right, relax. All right, pitchfork.
No, you gotta go like
pitchfork and knife wearing mother trucker. I just said.
Earl, you can't do that. You can't do that. It's crazy. No way. There is no way you just did that. That is wild.
Can y'all hear me?
I see that.
That was crazy. I will tolerate that for the sake of the podcast. I will tolerate that for the sake of the podcast. But all I said was, yo, congratulations. It took y'all 4 starters out to beat us.
I know, but you were being serious.
No, I was just like, whatever.
No, you were for sure serious. Just like when we won.
Y'all misunderstand my tone. I can understand.
No, but the weird thing is you only pull the injury card when you lose.
When? Yeah, I mean,
we beat y'all too.
I mean, I pulled that injury card when we won against the freaking Cavs. I looked at it. I was like, the Cavs won? We don't have Brunson. Like, what? Like, I literally texted y'all. The Knicks won? We weren't supposed to win this.
Yeah.
And by the way, I just gotta say, it took me like 58 minutes to mention the Knicks.
That is true. Well, I mean, technically, you referenced them, the old Knicks, but we don't count that. I'll take
we talked about Patrick Ewing.
You might be like a Knicks.
I accept this.
You might be like a Knicks merchant. You only talk about them when they're healthy. Not gonna lie to you. Not a real one, for real.
No, we talk about the Knicks.
We talked about them last week when you weren't here.
Will this trio ever come back together again?
Yeah, literally.
See, I didn't get a chance to watch it back yet.
Honestly, though,
big fan.
OG, just to like end it off on like a positive note, though. OG looks like he's ramping up his recovery. He looks like he's gonna be back within the next 2 weeks. Crossing my fingers. I hope it happens. Julius Randle does look like it needs a little more time. I am worried about that shoulder. I said this on my post game show the other day when I went on for a moment. I said that look, if we have to take a few games to make sure Julius is completely healthy, it's fine, because I don't want him to go into a situation where he's going to have to play bully ball again and then re-injure that shoulder and make it 10 times worse. So, I mean, okay, what did you say? Big JJ. But no, my concern is genuine because I mean, in the beginning of the season, we were talking about Julius Randle. Oh, he started off really, really slow. Wasn't that good. Everybody wanted him off ASAP. Max wanted him off ASAP. I'm sure he still does in some capacity. But
hang on. But before we talk about that, I just want to say Omar was like, or sorry, not Omar. Daniel was like, fly Hawks fly, whatever. And then Omar came in here with the congrats, y'all finally beat us without 4 starters. Lol. I say that because the lol was in all caps. What a flex. And then Daniel was like, we injured 2, bud. Keep the excuses.
Y'all had DeJounte Murray.
It's the truth. We destroy you every single time. And then Daniel's like, we got players out 2. And then Omar's like, y'all have DeJounte in your centers. We barely have anything. And then he's like, when was the last time we met in the playoffs where it counted? Oh, right. And then it's just the whole, like, the same argument. Just da-da-da-da-da-da.
It's just a stupid argument between me and
Daniel. You had that argument. You've been having that argument since, like...
Because the Hawks are not better than the Knicks. Yeah, wait. Okay, I got to talk about this before we actually end off a podcast.
Aren't they, or something like that?
I mean, DeJounte Murray has been going crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Knicks are mid.com.
It's kind of mid conversation.
Earl just texted us in the private chat. The Knicks are mid.com. But I just want to end this off. the last point. I gotta show this. I'm gonna email this to myself. It's gonna take me like 2 seconds.
Is this a video?
No, it's a picture.
We'll do the outro. If you guys did, we're going to show the video, Omar, but let's do the outro while you're emailing. If y'all did make it this far into this video, comment Big JJ in the comment section below so we know you made it this far. But yeah, if you are new around here and you did enjoy, be sure to hit the subscribe button, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. If you're watching this on Spotify, rate us, follow, add the show. I don't know, do the stuff you do on Spotify. We'll be coming out with the TikTok clips like always pretty soon. You know where to find us on YouTube, on Spotify, all the good stuff. We'll be back next weekend with probably another terrible, irrelevant, poor conversation. But that's what y'all know us for. So that's that.
Damn. Way to roast us.
Nah, really, it's just Earl and Omar. I'm the smart one here.
That is crazy. Earl, you're going to take that?
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yo, so there's this video surfacing of LeBron James with Jeannie Buss.
Oh, that video.
Yeah. This one is just a picture, and it's just a funny picture. I'm not going to play the video, but this is just the picture that I have here.
Oh, you're showing us this video. Yep.
No, I'm not showing a video. I'm just showing them pictures.
I know.
2 years, 120 million.
Happy International Women's Day.
Happy belated International Women's Day, everyone. Happy International Women's Month.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate everybody, and peace out.
I got infinity money.